Hello. Today we're going to be factoring multivariable polynomials. So for review, there are these two practice problems. 1. Factor x squared minus 9. For this problem, we simply use difference of squares to find x minus 3, x plus 3, since 9 is 3 squared and x squared is obviously x squared. So for the next problem, x cubed plus 64, we can use the sum of cubes, since x cubed is obviously a cube, and 64 is 4 cubed. Therefore, we get the sum of cubes formula and find that it's equal to x plus 4 times x squared minus 4x plus 16. Variable polynomials, one of the most useful methods is factoring by grouping. Typically, in factoring by grouping, we split the expression into groups of items and then factor each group. Then we look for the similarities between each group to factor the whole thing. So for example problem, we have 64xy plus 4x plus 16y plus 1. We can see the groups are 64xy plus 4x and 16y plus 1. For the first group, we can factor out the 4x to find 4x times 16y plus 1, and for the second one, it's simply 1 times 16y plus 1. In this one, we can clearly see that 16y plus 1 is the common term between both of them. Thus, we can factor out completely to find 4x plus 1 times 16y plus 1 is equal to 64xy plus 4x plus 16y plus 1. In equations, you want to factor first to simplify everything off the get-go. For our example problem, we can look at 64xy plus 4x plus 16y plus 1. If you notice carefully, this was the same problem as on the last slide. But however, this time there's a condition that it's equal to 257 and that x and y are non-negative integers. The problem is asking for the possible values of x and y. So using the factorization we found in the previous problem, we get that 4x plus 1 times 16y plus 1 equals 257. Thus, we see that we're trying to find the factors of 257. So we look at them, and luckily for us, it's a prime number, meaning its only factors are 1 and itself, which in this case is 1 and 257. This also means that 4x plus 1 and 16y plus 1 correspond to the terms 1 and 257, so we can look at the cases separately. If 4x plus 1 equals 1, that means x has to be 0, because 4 times 0 plus 1 equals 1. This also means 16y plus 1 equals 257, so y must be 16, because 16 times 16 is 256, plus 1 equals 257. Looking at the other case, if 4x plus 1 equals 257, then x must be 64, because 4 times 64 plus 1 equals 257. Also, this must mean y equals 0, because 16 times 0 plus 1 equals 1. Thus, we have the two solutions are x is 0 and y is 16, or x is 64 and y is 0. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.